So, Sanjaya Uvacham Eva Mukta Tato Rajan Mahajogeshara Hari Dashayama Ashapataya Paramam Rupam Osharam Sanjaya Uvacham Evam Ukta Tato Rajan Mahajogeshara Hari Darshayama Ashapartaya Paramam Rupam Osharam Sanjaya Vacham Evam Ukta Tato Rajan Mahajogeshara Hari Dashayama Ashapartaya Paramam Rupam Osharam. Is anybody Prabhuji and Mataji chant?
Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Ukta Tado Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayam Ashaparthaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram.
Sanjaya Uvacha Evan Mukta Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwara Hari Darshaya Masa Parthaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram.
So, synonyms. Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya said, Evam thus, Ukta saying, Tatha thereafter, Rajan, O king, Mahajogeshwara, the most powerful mystic, Hari, the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Darshayan Asha showed, Parthaya unto Arjuna, Paramam, the divine, Rupam Osharam, universal form. Translation and purport written by, there is no purport. Translation is written by Srila Prabhupada ka Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. I am telling again, Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. There is no purport. Om Agyanang Timilanjasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militanga Jena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtang Stapitanga Jena Bhutale Shayangarupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Bandehang Sri Guru Sri Juta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurum Vishnu Vanksham Sri Rupanga Shagra Jatang Shahagana Rupanatan Nitam Tang Shajivam Shadvaitang Shabadutang Parijana Shaitang Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Sri Vishakannita Mishtam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagat Pate Gopesho Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapto Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we will discuss on the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, the Universal Forum. And the text is 9. Sanjayo Vacham Evam Ukta Tato Rajan Mahajogeshwaro Hari Darshayam Ashagapataya Paramam Rupam Oisharam. Very nice text. Here I am giving the recap, actually a little bit before the text. In the previous chapter, that is, before that I can tell that this is the introduction, that is about the, I'm talking about the different fractions of the talk. First, it is the introduction, then the discussion, then the conclusion. So in the introduction, that is, I am talking about the Vishwarupa. That is that introduction, that is a little recap and along with this text. So about the Vishwarupa, that is, in previous chapter, Krishna said that he pervades and supports the entire universe with a single fragment of his power. That is in the previous chapter, we saw it. I gave them one example, that is the reference of 10th chapter 42 text. So that means this universe, the lot of universes Brahma created, right? So that all the universes, that is actually a little fragment of energy of Lord Krishna. So we can think that how big Krishna's energy. This is only a single fragment of this universe. And the universes, if we, that as per Shastra, scripture, it is mentioned that the 1/3 of the spiritual sky. This universe is 1/3 of the spiritual sky. So that is the that Lord Krishna is created. So a spiritual sky is very, very big. And Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So Arjuna knows that he is a creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the controller, and he is all pervading. That was also Krishna himself, he told that. Then from Krishna's uttering, Arjuna got that knowledge also. So in this chapter, it is explained that Arjuna expressed his desire to see his all-pervasive form of Lord Krishna. Krishna has a lot of forms, right? Shyama Sundar form, that Krishna has the universal form. Krishna has, Ram is another form, Varaha is another form, Narasimhadev is another form. So Krishna has lots of millions of forms. So he wants to see, Arjuna wants to see, that is his Vishwarup form, a universal form. That is He's interested to, I want to see, hey Krishna, I want to see your universal form. Though the universal form is not, it is very much temporary form. It is for the material realm. It is in the material realm, so it is a temporary form. So it is not that universal form meant that this universal form is not eternally situated. It is not in the spiritual sky. It is only in the material form, material realm, that universal form. So that is the Arjuna is asking. So then, what is the function of the devotees? Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna, but he wants to see. Why? I am going to tell later. But in general, devotee doesn't want to see the universal form. They have no interest to see the universal form. So here the Lord Krishna, we know that he is the source of everything. He created everything and he is maintaining, he is a controller and he is a destroyer, everything he is doing. So Arjuna doesn't have that special desire to see the universal form. I mentioned before that he wants his desire to see the universal form, but in here I am telling that he doesn't have any desire to see the universal form. This is a contradictory, so there should not be any contradiction. The reason is that general people doesn't understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what are the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And how Supreme Personality of Godhead looks like. Some people are saying that a Supreme Personality of God, Shiva, Lord Brahma, so and so. But people doesn't have the conception, right conception, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for that reason, Arjuna, he is trying to see that universal form for the people, not for himself. That is to convince the people to himself. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also mentioned that Tesham eva anukampantam aham ajnana jam aham nashayami atmabhavasta jnana dipena bhashata anukampantam tesham eva anukampantam. That is. So Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as a disciple of him, Arjuna, he wants to show his magnanimity to the residents, to the people. For that reason, he is interested, his desire to see the, to convince the people. To convince the people, he requested to Arjuna to show the universal form. So, so universal form as well as four-handed form and two-handed form, these forms of Krishna, this is, it was mentioned before so many lecturers. So this form, this is how can people, devotee can see it? Is it easy to see it? It is not easy. It is not easy. So What? How can we see? How can devotee can see it? Yes, lot of devotees saw it. Our Srila Prabhupada, he saw Krishna, two-handed from Krishna, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the paramparas, they saw the Lord Krishna. It is actually can be seen. So how it can be seen? How Arjuna can be seen? So with the material eyes, it cannot be seen. The reason, there is two reasons behind it. One reason is that Krishna was covered by Yogamaya. So it is very difficult to see Lord Krishna. And second point is that without any mercy of Lord, nobody can see him. As for example, in Yashodama was trying to bind Krishna so many years of rope. She could not able to. Finally, only whatever it is trying, there are two fingers is short. So then Krishna was telling that, showing Krishna saw her endeavor. Oh, she was trying to bind me, only she could not able to do that. Then finally Krishna gave her mercy that yes, this time you can bind me. Then she was able to bind Krishna. So there are two functions is there. One is Krishna's mercy, other is Yashoda Maya's endeavor. For that reason, that pastime was possible. So in this case also, Arjuna, how can he see that Krishna's universal form? Without any mercy of Krishna, he could not able to see it. And this was Krishna showed that universal form in the battlefield. So that is that Krishna, especially Krishna, giving the mercy to Arjuna and for a celestial vision, that a special vision. With this special vision, he can see the universal form. That. So that is, then I come back to text number 9. So text number 9, it was that Sanjaya Uvacha. So Sanjaya Uvacha, who is Sanjay? Is anybody know about that? Who is Sanjay? Sanjay is the son of a charioteer whose name is Gabalgana. His name is again Gabalgana. That is the son, Sanjay is the son of Gabalgana in Krishna Lila. Before his previous life, he was the Shuta. Shuta means that both two birds of Puranic story and the mixed caste. So he was a Shuta before his life. And in the Dwapar Yuga, he is the chief advisor of Dhritarashtra. Because Dhritarashtra is a blind. So he cannot see what is happening in Kurukshetra, in warfield. So Sanjay, he used to tell to the Dhritarashtra. And Sanjay is a disciple of Vyasdev. Vyasdev given the mercy of Sanjay. That is, so Sanjay can see in the palace from the palace of Dhritarashtra, he can see what is happening in Kurukshetra war field. So he was translating it to the Kurukshetra, into the Dhritarashtra. And he is the first person who recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Gita as spoken by Lord Krishna originally, and Sanjay is the first person who explained Bhagavad Gita to the Dhritarashtra. So that is the position of Sanjay is a great position. It's not an ordinary position. So that Sanjay now he is describing that what Arjuna is doing. That Arjuna is looking the universal form. That is, he was explaining to Dhritarashtra. So then what are the Vishwarup? In the Vishwarup, Lord's all kinds of avatar, all demigods, all kinds of movable, unmovable things, everything it was showing in the universal form. This is the first time Arjuna saw this universal form. Actually, Krishna showed universal form to other personalities also, but these are not as big as Arjuna's one. He showed universal form to Ma Jashoda, as well as he was shown to Duryodhana also. So Arjuna, Krishna showed this one is the actually a very big universal form. He was showing to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So in this universal form, he saw all of the creation. Not only that, the interesting things is that who is alive and who is dying during the Kurukshetra war. In advance, Krishna was shown to him, also in the universal form. That is the most important that Arjuna. Then after saw Arjuna all the things, then he requested to Krishna, can you please show me your other forms? Then Krishna changed his form to four-handed form, Vishnu form. Right. Then in Vishnu form, also there is another point is that Vasudeva and Devaki, when Krishna appears at that time, Krishna showed that a four-handed form. That on the request of his parents, then he changed into two-handed form. So in here also, after four-handed form, he changed into two-handed form. So, and another point is that, so Arjuna is an Ananya Bhakta of Lord Krishna. Right. So he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna and Krishna Shaka. So that means that he is always in a Shukrosh. With the Krishna Shukraga, he was dealing with Krishna with the Shukrosh also. That is in the position of Lord, in the position of Arjuna. So this is the actually introduction. That is that introduction. What is the conclusion of this introduction? This what we discuss on this introduction. That is that Krishna is the source of all forms. And he is that universal form is a temporary manifestation. Then the form of time, which is called Kala Rupa, devotes everything. So 400 forms of Vishnu have all been exhibited by Krishna. Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. Then there are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus in the universal forms. Arjuna saw hundreds of thousands of Vishnus is there also. So only for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but the original form, 200 Shyama Sundar form is the important. Shyama in Brahma Samhita, it was also mentioned that Shyama Sundara Tribhanga Lalitam, that only the person who is a blackish color and Tribhanga and who play the flute, that form devotee wants it to serve in his lotus feet. That is the devotee wants it. So now the second part. The second part is that how Arjuna see it. Because I mentioned before that this is Ananya Bhakti. He has the Ananya Bhakti. And the Mayavadi Sannyasis, what they are studying, they are doing this, performing the sacrifices, they do the charity, they do all kinds of pious activities and penances. Are they able to see Lord Krishna? No. By studying, can see, oh, Shastra pore ki hajnane jodi na kore atma karma. So Shastra, by reading Shastra, there are a lot of knowledge and can see that Lord Krishna? No, it never be possible. If it is possible, then why not in Keshav Kashmiri? Why not in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Why not in Prakashananda Saraswati? So it is required some cement. If we want to make the building requires that cement. The sand and the brick cannot hold the building. Without any cement, it is that building will not be lost. They cannot build a building. So that kind of cement is required. So what is the cement? Cement is that one kind of cement, it is devotional service. Devotional service plus the knowledge of scriptures is the good. If not, then in South India, when Mahaprabhu went there, in the temple, there is one blind man. He used to listen Bhagavad Gita. So then he was thinking that I will read Bhagavad Gita. So he got the Bhagavad Gita and he was changing the pages. But his devotion is what is Bhagavad Gita. At that time, Mahaprabhu was passing through. Then Mahaprabhu was asking him, what are you doing? He was telling that I'm reading Bhagavad Gita. You do not have the eye. How can you read the Bhagavad Gita? Then his Jnana Chakku Unmilane. That at that time his Jnana Chakku was Prashputito. That means his Jnana Chakku was bloom. Then he told to Mahaprabhu that I can see Bhagavad Gita. I can see Lord Krishna. He is instructing to Arjuna. So that kind of Ananya Bhakti, it will be, he is a pure devotee, blind person is a pure devotee, and he was able to read this Bhagavad Gita. So that is the that kind of Ananya Bhakti is be required. That Bhakti, that is Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, also Brahmar Dullabha Prem Shobha Kare Jache. Mahaprabhu when came in this material world, Brahma doesn't have that Ananya Bhakti. Brahma Dullabha Prem. Brahma doesn't have that kind of Raganuga Bhakti, that kind of Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Brahma Dullabha Prem Shobha Kare Jache. That Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu distributed each and every person by asking. Nobody asks. They do not care about who is asking and who is not asking. But from them, they are distributing that Prema Bhakti to everybody. So, to understand Lord is very difficult. He also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. What? He mentioned the Avajanante Mam Mura Manusham Tam Tanum Asridam. This is a foolish person cannot understand me. That is. So, this universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone. It is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundar. Very difficult. Shyam Sundar form is the topmost, right? It is very difficult to, how it can be possible. Anna Abhilashita Shunyam Gyana Karmad Anavritam Anukul Bhaktir Anukullena Shilanam Bhakti Ruchate. That kind of prema we have to generate. How can we generate? By the serving of Lord Krishna and his devotees. But so, about some people, Rupa Goswami, giving one example, Rupa Goswami, when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami first met in West Bengal with Mahaprabhu. So after they talked with Mahaprabhu, then Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami decided that we will quit the job from Hoshan Shah. At that time, the king was Hoshan Shah. So Rupa Goswami path, after Mahaprabhu left, then he resigned and he got a boat. There is a boat full of golden coins. Then he bought it at home and he divided that, that is in three portions, 3 parts. One part he is distributing for the people, mankind, and the other he was distributing to build the temple, and the third part he kept with him. So he kept with him means that he was given to his relative to keep that. Then he left for Vrindavan to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by this time, Sanatana Goswami he was the prime minister in the Hossein Shah's time. So he was also decided that I'm very briefly, I'm talking about this. There are a lot of things to a story. So very briefly, I'm telling. So Hossein, he was decided that how can I live? It is difficult for me. So then he called a sick leave. So 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, as because he's a prime minister, very big position. Hossein Shah was surprising. Oh, without Sanatan, I cannot run the estate. So what happened? And he was, his assistant told that Sanatan is the sick. Then he did not believe it. One day he came in Sanatan Goswami's house. At that time, he saw Sanatan Goswami was teaching Bhagavatam to the people. Then he was asking, hey, you took the sick leave and you were teaching Bhagavatam. What kind of person you are? Then he became angry and he put it in his jail. So in the jail, how can he get out from the jail? At that time, there was a fighting going on in Bengal and Odisha. So there was a fighting is going on. So at that time, Hossein Shah went to the war field. So in that time, Sanatan knew the jailer. So he told that I will give you a lot of golden coins to you. Then you please release me. Then jailer, he was agreed and he gave the golden coin to jailer and he went back to Vrindavan. So this is, he was relieved from the thing. So Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami is that is. So here I am going to mention that Rupa Goswami also, he his money he utilized. That is, there is another point is that is the Sanatana Goswami given the money to the jailer, that is the Rupa Goswami's money. Rupa Goswami wrote a letter to Sanatana Goswami, brother, I left some money in so and so person. You please take the money and give to jailer and you please come back. So that's the brother's money he used to use for releasing that. So that means you see how this money is utilized. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that if you build big houses, big palace, is there any means of that? That no. If you build instead of building a big house, you build a temple and install the deities and serve the deities. That is the meaningful for that. That is from that you will generate the, you will have generate the bhakti. You can generate the bhakti. So that is also that is Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. In our Shastra also mentioned that, that is Shadashara Upanishad. It was mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Jasya Deve Parabhaktiri Jata Deve Tatha Guru Tashyate Kotita Hika Artha Prakashante Mahatmana. So he is the Jasya Deve Parabhakti. So without any bhakti, without the cement, building cannot be a hold of. So that is that is the important things. So and there are a lot of examples also Srila Prabhupada given. I am just escape of that actually. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We know that to establish the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna wants to that to his supremacy. For that reason, he wants to see the Vishwarup. That is the universal form. So, Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govindam Sarva Karana Karanam. That means in Brahma Samhita it was also mentioned that who is the Krishna? He is the Satchit Ananda and Supreme Personality of Godhead and cause of all causes. So then in Bhagavatam also mentioned that Ate Samshak Kala Punsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Shayam. So Krishna is a Bhagavan who possesses 6 opulences, fully 6 opulences. He is a Bhagavan. So now the one thing is that who can attain Krishna and how to know God, and why does anything appear great? These 3 questions may arise in this chapter actually. That is who can attain Krishna, that is the mat karma kretaka mat paramo mataka bhakta sangha varjita nirbhoy aha sarvabhuteshu sa mam iti pandava. So mat karma krit, engage in doing my work. Mat parama, considering me the supreme. Mat bhakta, engage in my devotional service. Sangha vivarjita, no non-devotee association. And nirabhoid, without any enemy. Sarva bhuteshu, among all living entities. So these are the 5 types of things that is can attain Lord Krishna. Again, I am telling that mat karma krit, mat parama, mat bhakta, sangha vivarjita, and niravoy sarva bhuteshu. Then the that means that who that is then how to know God? That is only the bhaktamam abhijananti javan chashme tattata tatha mam ka tattato gyata vishate tat anantaram. That only bhaktamam abhijananti. One can understand me as I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by devotional service. Nothing else. Devotional service. Cement should be there. Right? When one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Right? So, now the third question. Third question is that why does anything appear great? That means great means vibhutis. Krishna's in the 10th chapter, we saw that the vibhuti yoga. That is, there are a lot of vibhutis, Krishna's opulences. That is, so you can know all opulent, beautiful and glorious creation spring from a spark of my splendor. That means that only, I mentioned before, only a little, only a little things, energy Krishna showed. Krishna create all the universes and is showing his universal form. So that is the Krishna's vibhuti, that Krishna can do that. None of the person can do that. So the what is one should transfer his energy entirely. Suppose what we need to do? We need to do that our energy completely transferred in the service of Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna will be happy. Then we can see the Krishna. We can get the mercy of Krishna. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it was mentioned. Anashaktasya Vishayan Jatat Tamkau Upajantuta Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Uchyate. That is. And Krishna Karma. What is Krishna Karma? Krishna boli je Bhagavancha kare অতএব মায়া তারে ঝাপটিয়া দেয়। So towards the Krishna, it is favorable. To not beyond the Krishna, it is the Maya. Maya japatiya dare. So it is not possible. So and that is the Krishna karma. What I am doing, this is for the Krishna. And Krishna consciousness, always thinking of Krishna, then the Krishna consciousness will be developed. And working for Krishna means that Shayane, Shapane, Nidra, Jagarane, we have to think of Krishna. Then when we offer the bogas to Krishna, what we do that? We put the Tulsi, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Prayam, Jome, Bhakta, Prachasthati. What is Patram? Patram means that, it's mentioned that Tulsi leaves. That Tulsi leaves will be that. Then Mat Parama. Mat Parama means that association of the devotee. Mat Bhakta, that then the person who possesses 9 processes of bhakti, he is my Mat Bhakta. Then Sangha Vivarjita, that is that nobody, never ever avoid the association of devotee. Asat Sangatya Vaishnava Achar. That Vaishnava are always Asat Sangha, they do not, they always avoid it. Only Sat Sangha they are looking for. So there is, and I mentioned that on Navilasita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anabhitam Anukulyana Krishnano Shiranam Bhakti Uchate. So in this way, we can develop our prem. We can, by the service, we can get the association of Lord Krishna. And how Srila Prabhupada given very nice examples of there are, that is that Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, he was crucified by the non-devotees. But he knew that. But he sacrificed his life for the spreading God consciousness. He knew that he will be crucified. He knew everything. But he was showing that is for spreading Krishna consciousness, God consciousness for that desire. Srila Haridas Thakur and the Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, how much, like one 5-year boy, how he was tortured. Lord Krishna, Lord Nrsimhadev saved him. Haridas Thakur, he was examined by a Potita, a prostitute. At that time, he converted Potita to the Bhakta. So what kind of pure devotees, potency, mercy is so potency that is. So we should have to be abided by on that. So our time is almost finished. It is 1 minute left. So that I am concluding in here what we discussed. That is the universal form of Krishna. In summary, that is the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, 400, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishnu or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but the original form, 200 Shyama Sundar form. So Krishna, devotees doesn't want to go back to Golokdham also. Devotee wants, where it is Krishna keep him. He wants only the service to Krishna. I don't know what is Golok Vrindavan. I don't know what is Vaikuntha Lok, who is the spiritual aspect. I don't know anything. I know only thing to do the service on your lotus feet to satisfy you. That is my job. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to all the devotees.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Dattatreya Prabhu. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. We are also extremely fortunate today. Today we have with us Linda Mataji. Linda Mataji is sister of His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj. Mataji, are you there?
Hare Krishna, thank you for a wonderful class, Prabhu. It's a privilege to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for blessing us and joining us on this call. And thank you so much. We are so fortunate. We are blessed. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, anything? Anybody would like to add anything? Any questions? Any comments? Nobody has anything to add? Any comments? Any questions, concerns?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, like I just had one question. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and all other forms are basically they are originating from Krishna, right? But like when we keep these Ekadashis and most of the Ekadashi Mahatams, sometimes we read that the Ekadashi Mahatam says that on this particular Ekadashi, the four-handed form of the Vishnu should be worshipped. So in some of the Ekadashi Kathas, we have read that. I don't remember the name of the Ekadashis, but there are some Mahatams where we have that. So just wanted to understand why the four-handed form of the Vishnu is stressed in certain Ekadashis.
Mataji, that is in Krishna Janmashtami, we are celebrating Krishna. In Ram Navami, we are celebrating Ram. In Narasimha Chaturdashi, we are celebrating Narasimhadev. Right. So similarly, Vishnu is the actually incarnation of Lord Krishna. From the second quadruple, from Shankarsana, that is Krishna, that is Mahavishnu appeared. That is. So Mahavishnu acts as a Palankarta. He is taking care of all the universes. There are lots of Vishnus. They are taking care of that. So that is for that reason. In some occasions, suppose in Gaur Purnima we are celebrating Mahaprabhu's appearance day also. So something Vishnu is also worship. Some people Ekadashi is that Vishnu, some Vishnu's way is worshipable. It's not hard. It's not hard. But our main thing is that Shyama Sundara Tribangalolitam. That our mind should be concentrated on only one thing. That is Shyama Sundara Tribangala. That is Srila Prabhupada. Each and every time, so many times, he was written in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, as well as Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, you can, if you want. Yeah, there is written so many avatars to do the worship. Avataro hi ashankayo. That is, there are lots of avatar. So that is again, Vishnu is also an avatar. Vishnu avatar. Vishnu is an Vishnu. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So I mean, even though it's mentioned there, but worshipping Krishna itself is just enough on Ekadashis as well. Because Krishna is, you mean to say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so we don't need to really follow the exact, in the Ekadashi, it's just that it's written in those Ekadashis katha, so that's why I had that question. And I'm aware of the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but just wanted to get a clarification on that. So yeah, that sounds clear to me, Prabhuji.
Yes, if you put the water in the root of the tree, then whole tree will get the water. Yeah, right. So if you worship to Lord Krishna, Vishnu is there. Right. That's my understanding. That is my understanding. I think our Shinsha Prabhuji has some realization, maybe. So that is my understanding. That is my sadhana. Actually, I am doing my sadhana. Concentrate on the lotus feet of Radha Shyam Sundarji.
Yes, Prabhuji, you explained correctly. Yes, rightly. And devotees worship the Krishna. The devotees of Krishna always keep Krishna in the heart. It always says that religion means to love the God. So that's exactly Srila Prabhupada put this together. All this process, Krishna consciousness means to love the God or loving devotional service unto the Supreme. So the Mahavishnu comes into the picture. Sometimes the Ekadashi Vrata, there is also a Bhalasruti. There is also a benefit that one can derive from doing the Ekadashi. That means if I follow the certain procedures and the processes, so you will acquire, you can attain the benefit of that doing so. So in that case, everybody, it's not that everybody is a devotee who serves or who takes the Ekadashi, but some are there performing, observing the Ekadashi to derive something out of it. In that, for them, it is mentioned that, okay, you worship in certain way, that you worship, Lord Narayana or Vishnu, like Satyanarayana Puja likes that. So that they attain that, that benefit. And many times in the story, Krishna is also telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the benefits of doing each Ekadashi. And that's true. But that is not the case for the devotees. Devotees and Krishna is established based on a relationship, either on the Valsilya Rasa or Sakhi Rasa or Madhurya Rasa or the Dasya Rasa. So there are eternal, the devotees consider that the Lord is my master, Lord is my beloved, likes that. So they always keep that without, like Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that bhakti, devotion means anya abhilashida shunyam, devoid of all other the desires, anya abhilashida shunyam, without any material desires, anya abhilashida shunyam, jnana karmadi anavrutam, that means devoid of all this material knowledge, jnana and karma, the activities, anavrutam, and anukulyana, whatever is favorable for the Krishna, whatever favorable for the service to love for Krishna, anukulyana krishnanushilanam, we strictly follow the instructions of Krishna, bhaktir uttama, that means that's a pure devotee. So yes, there are devotees in three categories: uttama bhakta, madhyama bhakta, and kanishta bhakta, or the beginner, or the madhyama, and the intermediate, and then the uttama, the pure. So yes, pure devotees, the one who is unflinching faith in Krishna, one who is surrendered unto Krishna, they always worship Krishna in any circumstances, even in the middle of the fire, even in the mid of the water. So no matter what, so they always keep that devotion, that loving devotion to the Supreme. So this is all for Ekadashi, is also for everybody. So that in that reason, there is certain rules and procedures to follow to derive, to attain the results of doing or observing that fasting. It's also mukti and bhukti, always says that bhukti and mukti. So if you are looking for, I need liberation, I need that, I need this, there are sort of lots of fasting accordingly that you can attain that. Yes, people are getting that. There's no doubt into that. I just wanted to add some points onto that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. Thank you, Dattatreya Prabhuji. Yeah, I think so. Basically, there are different categories of people. So the people who work for fruitive, activities, for them, it's a different definition of how they want to worship. But for pure devotees like Vaishnavas, Krishna is they understand, they have the real knowledge that Krishna is the supreme and they know whom to worship. I got it, Prabhuji.
Yep.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else? Anything to add? Today is Ekadashi. It's called Vartini Ekadashi. Yes, that question was very appropriate. Devotees chant the holy name, engage in the devotion, remember the Lord, and always keep Krishna in the heart. Krishna is in the center of their life. So it's so beautiful, so wonderful that we all come together on this day of Ekadashi and discussing Bodhayanta Parasparam, discussing the glories of Krishna. It's very, very important, very powerful. Even just by hearing itself can be purified our consciousness. This way we can understand more and more about the Supreme Lord of spiritual science. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, done with pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.
Very, very wonderful class, Prabhu. And this actually triggers some questions in my mind. So on our altar as well, right? So we have many forms, like say we have a Laddu Gopal. So we feel that Krishna is our son, our baby, and then we take care of the Krishna accordingly. We see Narasimha Dev's picture and we see, oh, Krishna is a protector, he's my protector. Then we have that kind of a feeling. Then when we see, like, say, Arjuna's picture with Krishna, we feel that, no, he's our guide, he's our friend, he's our, charioteer, or at least the charioteer of life guiding us all the time. And when we see all the Krishnas with gopis and all, we feel that, okay, that's the, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enjoying, and, so it's that kind of rasa, or that kind of feeling that we get. So how do we kind of, come to, like, we know Krishna, we have to form a relationship with Krishna. But how do we identify which relationship is what we are forming? Because we are getting different feelings in the different forms that we worship him, so.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, the answer, that kind of questions in front of me so many times asked to different Maharaj. One is Jayadatta Maharaj first question. First, it was asked that. The answer is Jayadatta Maharaj, he was given, chant Hare Krishna. Then in His Holiness, Danavir Goswami Maharaj, there is one lady, she was also asking same questions to Danavir Goswami Maharaj. Danavir Goswami Maharaj, he was giving the answer, chant Hare Krishna. So what is gopis and what is others, we should not think on that. Our duty just to chant, to make the relationship with Sambandha Gyan, with the Lord Krishna's lotus feet, by chanting Hare Krishna and serving him. That is that I just quoted from the Maharaja's answers. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always confusing, because
Yes, it is obvious. It is obvious. It was happened on me also. It has happened on me also. So it is better not to look at here and there, just to look at in front, the Lord Krishna. That's it.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, my Guruji.
God. With the permission, this question even I had, and if I can share my realizations based on Mataji's question. There are so many avatars, there are so many pastimes of Krishna. And when we were getting deities at home to do deity worship, then Maharaj and other Vaishnavas recommended that you worship Gaur Nithai. And there's a reason for that. The worship of the origin, Krishna, is extremely high standard. And till such time, a sadhaka doesn't reach that standard, there could be many offenses committed, which may in a way get as a roadblock. So the first and foremost is like how Maharaj said is chanting. If we chant sincerely, the nama, the guna, the pastimes, the qualities, everything gets revealed. So that is number one. Now the other understanding is that in this age of Kali Yuga, we are so degraded. Everything is so degraded. Consciousness, everything, environment. So in such a situation, the Mahamantra has appeared. So also, very importantly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Mahaprabhu and his associates have appeared specifically for fallen people. And in worship of them, they don't consider any offense. They only see, come on, do better. So this has helped my sadhana to an extent that, yes, we are very respectful to all of Krishna, Shyam Sundarji. In our temple, we have such a beautiful Radha Shyam Sundarji. We have Lord Jagannath. So depending on whatever is the devotee's relation. But then, at least in my case, I've found that worshipping and concentrating on Gaur Nitai Ji, that seems to be appropriate for my condition. And end of the day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an avatar. He is Krishna himself, but in a merciful form. So when we are worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping everything. As Laddu Gopal, as Narsingadev, as you said, root and tree. Everything is included in that. Hari Bol.
Very beautiful, Prabhuji. And in Narottam Das Thakur mentioned that Nitayir Karuna Habe Broje Radha Krishna Pabe. Basically, if the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then we can get the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. That is
Also, the question Mataji mentioned that Mataji is already have in the altar. Laddu Gopal is there, right, Mataji? You have Krishna is there, Laddu Gopal is there.
Yes, Prabhu.
So
I
how do?
inherited from my mom, when she passed away, she gave me that Laddu Gopal, and
Yes.
I was like, how do I serve him?
Yeah.
And,
So yes, I mean, it's always. We should not differentiate. First of all, that's I think that the one thing that we should learn that Ramadi Murtishu Kala Diyabena Tisham Rama Adi Murti, all Krishna's potency, Krishna's expansion. Narasimhadev is also Krishna's expansion. So always we say that there is no difference between Vishnu and Krishna. And there is a specific chapter in Bhagavatam that the Lord's incarnations with the specific functions. So Lord incarnates, Krishna expands, or his expansions are for specific functions. Like Narasimhadev appears from Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu appears from Lord Krishna. the Mahavishnu comes for some specific function, but in originally, both are same. It's like always says that, Srila Prabhupada was giving an example. The same person, when it comes to the court, like in a, courtroom, the judge or the supreme judge there, when he comes to the court, everything is very awe and reverence and very, as per the protocol. So, but the same judge, when it comes back to his home, he is now started to play with his children, and he is making himself as a horse or a cow or whatever it is, and he is completely relaxed and completely with his own level of, with the children, or he is getting down in the level of children. So this is the difference between any avatara, Krishna. The Krishna's avatara or expansions are for specific functions. So when they come, like, a person goes to the courtroom and then come back to the home. When Krishna is the home, he is the original Shyama Sundara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the same Krishna comes down to the Vaikuntha planet in order to maintain this, the world and everything. He is becoming a Vishnu. In order to protect a devotee, he is Krishna, the Krishna becoming the Narasimha. In order to protect his devotees, that's a primary duty, primary function of Krishna or Krishna's expansions. So Krishna always, like says that, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkuram. Krishna says that, I am descend myself in this universe to annihilate the miscreant and to save the pious. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna says that, right? Sambhavam yuge. Krishna himself comes down. Krishna, that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, because he himself comes down in various forms. So there is no much difference in one sense that if you look at it, Narasimha is also Krishna, Rama is also Krishna, but with the different functions in different time, place and circumstances. Sometimes when we talk about Vishnu is an avatar, but avatar means descend. That's only the difference. Descend. Avatar means avatarana. Avatara means comes down or descend. But when we mention that it's something like a different person, no, it's not a different person. It's the same person. So the worship of Krishna, yes, but for the devotee, always see Krishna because of Krishna is most loving, and they can express their love in many ways. Like all the other worship is actually in there are two kinds of worship, like a Pancharatra worship and a Bhagavata worship. Pancharatra Vidhi and Bhagavata Vidhi. Bhagavata Vidhi, there is no rules and regulations for. It's like, when you worship Krishna, yes, it is out of love. It is out of loving affection. That one time, one Maharaj was, carrying the Krishna along with wherever Maharaj travels. And then, sometimes, there is no specific time for that. Whatever Maharaj gets offered to the Lord, and then pray to the Lord that, Lord, I have only this one, please be satisfied. In the same case for Sanatana Goswami, that the Radha Madan Mohan. And Sanatana Goswami says that, I have only atta. He just gets some atta from that's very raw atta. It's not even cooked. He just put some water and put it in front of the Lord. And one day Lord said to Sanatana Goswami, can you put little salt in it so that I can? So Sanatana Goswami said that, I'm a mendicant. I don't have anything else to do. I don't have anything. So whatever I get, I offer to you. If you start to ask tomorrow, I need that, I need this, how will I give you? So this is the relationship. The one can establish the relationship with Krishna, only with Krishna that way, so that he can be like a friend, a dasa, or a servant, or like always, as we say, that as a Valsalya. So one can establish that relationship with Krishna. So in the case of worship of Narasimhadev, yes, that's, in the comes to the awe and reverence category. The worship is always comes to that awe and reverence. That Vishnu category is the awe and reverence category. That should be pakka. Very nice that when we worship. But Krishna, when we worship Krishna, that is only that, Krishna says that patram pushpam bhalam doyam yome bhaktya prayachati. That means when you offer a leaf or a water, a flower, a little bit fruit, and offer it with the love, I will accept it. So in one sense, worship of Krishna is based on the loving relationship or love, and then also worship of Narasimhadev and the other incarnations of based on specific functions, and they pleased with the specific, like in the Narasimhadev likes the jaggery water, Jagannath likes the this jackfruit, and Jagannath likes the rice, likes that. So this is the way that we see it. But in one sense, there is no difference between the Krishna or Rama, Narasimha, all those. Everything is Krishna's expansions and potencies. In other sense, when we look at it this way, the that worship of Krishna is based on the pure love, and also the worship that when we do the Narasimha and in the altar, we should be a little more serious and careful, because of there should be awe and reverence in that worship. And that's just wanted to put that together.
Prabhu, two points, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one and the same, but still there are differences between the avatar and avatari. In terms of the characteristics and
that's
things.
specific functions. That's what is mentioned there. The avataras incarnation is for specific function, so there is a difference. In the function, not originally the person. Original person is same.
Yeah, but the characteristics like what Lord Rama has is still not. So Krishna has everything.
Yeah.
The entire characteristics, and when they come down for a particular function, it is the characteristics decrease, so to say. I don't know exactly. Krishna has
64 qualities.
Or Rama has 60.
Rama doesn't have 60. Rama has what 60.
Ram, Balaram, all are has 60, and Krishna has 64 qualities.
64, and Lord Shiva has
58.
48.
Yeah, like that. There are these.
No, not 48. 55. Brahma has 48. 55, Shiva has 55. Yeah.
Yeah. So Prabhu, that was the thing. But more importantly, to Mataji's question, is the worship. And Prabhupada made it like, of course, Bhagavad, the worship of spontaneous love. But to reach that stage of spontaneous love, there is some level of training which is required to control our mind, our senses, and get that purification level. Otherwise, it could just become sentimental. So even if I have the same way on my altar, like Mataji's mother, she got it Bal Gopal, Laddu Gopal from a mother. Even I got Laddu Gopal from my mother. So my altar has Laddu Gopal and a photo of Narasimha Dev also. But the main deities are there and we worship. But when offering bhoga and all, it is going to Gaur Nitai ji. And, it's just that with them, it goes to everybody else, is taken care of. So that Bhagavad worship, where it's spontaneous love, like the Goswami's example you gave, I can only give you wheat. I can't even give you salt. I don't know how much of that would be relevant in our condition. So Prabhupada insisted that we have this rules and regulations, right? The deity worship of how to do it. And especially for homes, I mean, at least this is what, of course, there are devotees who are matured and advanced. Then they also do very lovely Radha Krishna, Radha Shyam Sundar worship at home also. Of course, that's the level. But the
that's for beginners. That's for beginners. Srila Prabhupada advised those for beginners, like Srila Prabhupada mentioned that when Srila Prabhupada came here, especially in the Western countries, they're just beginning and starting their worship. And, yes, better to start with the Gaura Nitai. But this is the case that Mataji is already worshipping the Laddu Gopal, already worshipping Narasimhadev. So how do we look at it, each worship, and how do we take care of, and how do we, put ourselves in that worship, right? It's already worshipping. So we can't take now out of anything. So you have to continue the worship. Whatever we are, the standard we kept, this is what it is. I mean, when we install the deities at home, or we are continuing the worship, we keep a standard that at least twice a day or one time a day, we take a vow that when we install a deity, one time a day we offer the bhoga to the Lord, worship or arati and whatever the capacity that's also flexible. The home deities are a little bit flexible than the temple deities. So that's so whatever the worship that we are continuing, we have to continue that. But the understanding is, on the level of understanding is, Krishna, Narasimha, all are same. And whatever the worship you are doing now, maybe just to a little bit clarify, or what is called a streamline or tune that worship, that and whatever the worship we are doing, it should be sincerely we perform it to the pleasure of the Lord, not for us, but for the service of the Lord, to please the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So that's my understanding. That's my since Mataji is already worshipping, so then we should continue that worship.
Okay, Prabhu. Thanks.
Yeah, Mataji, that's okay, or?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it is just a very thin line between, as Prabhuji said, that, sometimes it becomes sentimental. So sometimes rules, regulations are needed. Otherwise, we are not at that advanced level that our love could be misunderstood, and, we might take it for granted that, okay, Krishna is my friend. So, it's okay. Whatever we do, it's fine. So I think it's a very thin line, and I think that level, to reach that pure level or worship out of pure love, is far, far beyond our reach. But I think with basic things we can start. Yeah.
So since you are already worshipping, so you have to continue whatever the level of the standard of worship that you are doing, that should continue. And then see that we can progress more and more with chanting of holy name, like Prabhuji mentioned. Chant the holy name, and that's any worship before we should chant the holy name, and then we should worship the Lord. So that make more and more clarity, and the purity, and our consciousness become more and more better, and then we can. That's what it's all about it.
Yeah.
It's not that how much quantity that we do. It's all is actually about how much quality that we offer. Not the much quantity of it, but the quality of worship.
Just to add, Hare Krishna, just to add few other perspectives of the topic here. When the deities are at home, so that is completely a different level. Yes, when the deities are at the temple, we have to follow the Vaidhi Bhakti, and the deities have to be worshipped in a regulated manner, sticking to the times and everything. But when it comes to the deities at home, it all depends upon the relationship we build with the deities. Krishna says, "Ye thamam prapadyante tam tataisva bhajamyaham." So, as much as it all depends upon how much we surrender and what kind of relationship we are building with the deities at home. So that way, Krishna also reciprocates, and he also guides us. He's sitting within us as a super soul, and he'll guide us in that way, according to our desires, according to our strength, according to our approach to him. He will also reciprocate, and he'll also guide us to perform the activities in certain way. So it's not like a black and white picture. It's a picture. It's a color picture with variations, and that variations are depending upon the surrender we have, or the depending upon the desires, or depending upon the quality of the service we're giving it to the deities at home. So that's a perspective. Another perspective.
So, Prabhu, can a neophyte worship Radha Krishna at home? Someone who gets, because at least I've been there, sometimes the emotions and the feelings get so overwhelming, and you feel like, yes, this is life and this is what I should do. And then if we bring Radha Krishna deity homes, yes, home standards are very relaxed as compared to temple standards. But then if at home a neophyte brings Radha Krishna deities, initially there's a lot of enthusiasm, but then it dies down.
Yeah.
So
The definition of a neophyte devotee is we don't know who is neophyte or who is transformed or who is a senior devotee, because Prabhuji, my understanding is this is not for this life. The devotional service continues life after life. So the devotional service can kick in at any point in one's lifetime. So there is no definition of who is neophyte or who is a advanced devotee. So if the devotee has performed enough credits or already have the credits from the previous lives, then he can certainly have Radha Krishna devotees. Like there are so many devotees that have Jagannath Ji as I have seen devotees from Orissa. They have they don't. I mean, they eat meat. I have seen the devotees, but they have Jagannath Ji as their home deity, and they worship Jagannath Ji also. So that is the level, I think.
different, Prabhu. The people from Mathura, Vrindavan, they are of a special category altogether. But this neophyte thing, the point that you made is nobody can say who's neophyte or who's Uttama, except someone who's in the a realized soul. So if I enter into Hare Krishna and I say that now I want to start doing Radha Krishna worship, deity worship, so is that okay?
In that case, Srila
Hare
Prabhupada. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm not at all qualified even to speak here. I had done a DT worship seminar from ISKCON DT worship ministry a few months ago, Prabhuji. So what they told, I wanted to put, if it is okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of people were asking about home deities. So this seminar is done from Mayapur, so it was online. So they said that Radha Krishna, if you have at home, then you must give them food daily, and bath also. Same is with Gaur Nitai. You have to do daily abhishek. So a lot of people were questioning that, is it not okay if we do daily abhishek? Then they said that then you shouldn't bring the deities. Bring a Shaligram Shila or Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, or bring Gaur Nitai. But ISKCON has certain standard if we all follow the standard. So Gaur Nitai are little merciful, but then Radha Krishna, then you have to do these things daily minimum. So that's what that's what they were mentioning. So that's what it is. I don't know who, but at the GBC level, these ministries are formed and they're taking decisions. So that's what they told us, that this is what officially we can communicate to you. This is how the standard has to be maintained if you're bringing certain deities. So just wait if you're. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, that's the highest level of standard, Mataji, and the deity worship. Especially in India, Mayapur is followed. Many people also follows the same when they install the deity, usually two ways that there are welcoming the deities as well as installing the deity. Installing the deity means you are prana pradishta, you are doing the prana pradishta of the deity. That means you are, be giving the life to the deities. Other one is actually known as welcoming the deities. So most of in our home, devotees are welcoming the deities. That means it can move. That means we can move from one place to another, and but the prana pradishta, that cannot move, or that should be a higher standard. Yes, agree that deity ministry is recommending or asking everybody to keep that high standard of deity worship, especially when we devotee mature from the at certain level that they know, and they get the Brahman initiation and second initiation, and they have deities at home, then they should follow. Definitely they should follow, and this is the highest standard of worship. And sometimes it's also mentioned that sometimes it's not possible that to do that. See, daily abhishek or bathing the Lord. In that cases, there is called Manusa Puja. That means you are very, in your holy name and chanting, and you are chanted very nicely, and your consciousness is completely with the Krishna. In that situations, you can do the Manusa Puja of like you are as if like, inviting the Lord and giving the bath to the Lord, and, of course, waking up the Lord in the morning and, giving the bath and all these things, right? All these standards. It also can be done. So the ultimate point of deity worship is actually and this is the ultimate essence of deity worship, that we develop a very personal relationship with the Lord. Lord is understandable and depends, as is mentioned, that Yadamam Prabhatyande, Krishna reciprocate accordingly. And the most important purport or the purpose of, or the rule behind, or the essence behind of deity worship, that we develop a very personal relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is a standard. It can go at very extent, and it can also go whatever the capacity we have. That doesn't mean that we should neglect it on the basis of, or okay, I don't have this, I don't have that. At least we should keep a minimum standard. At least that if some devotee is not able to possible, or some sick or something like that, that some way or other we should make the arrangement, and we should not neglect the deity worship if the deities are at home, because of deities are the main center of the home. Nobody else is the main focus in the home. Deities are the main focus. If the deities are at home, Krishna, Krishna, or Krishna is the guest. Krishna is welcomed. He should be the main center, focused in all respect of the home. Or sometimes, people keep some corner and just, likes that just once in a while. That's not ideal. So we should, morning, if we eat anything, that we should not eat without offering to the Lord. When we get up in the morning, and we should not, go or eat anything without offering anything to the Lord. We should take bath in order to go in front of the Lord. We should offer arati to the Lord. We should possible, and we should make, bathe the Lord. Some people actually bathe the Lord only on Ekadashi and things like that. Yes, that is true. I mean, we should do it on every day. Otherwise, whatever the maximum that we could do it, that Lord is understandable. And if it is not possible, we should at least do it in Manusa Puja, in the mind. We should do it. And that way we should develop that very personal relationship with the Lord. And that's what is, I heard from the many other, people as well this way. Hare Krishna. Okay. Wonderful discussion. That's very beautiful. That's this is the purpose of this class and this discussion, this sangha, systematic study, and we bring up the points and different ways and different ways that we understand things more and more. So so that we get more deeper into the aspect of it, understand the fact of it, what we can do. That's what it is most important. And no matter what, we have, this Shravanam and Kirtanam, that we chant the holy name, especially in this age of time, age of Kali, age of time. That's the most important than anything else. In this, deity worship is secondary in this age of period of time. But the chanting of the holy name is the primary and the foremost of anything. And if you don't chant the holy name in a day, that's most, that's the first thing to do. Chant the holy name, whatever the prescribed rounds that is assigned, and then we should ourselves put for the service of the Lord, that personal service of the service of the Lord. So, and also this is mentioned that sometimes people take the vows, and after some time, like after some period of time, they feel that, I took too much. I am kind of now struggling. So this is also important, that whatever the capacity that we have, and we should do that, so that, we should not make any offenses against the deity, like, oh my God, I have to do this. And eventually it should not become mechanical. Okay, just do this. Okay, making something. Okay, I'm doing this. With the mind is not there, and it's all mechanical. That should not be there. When the Lord is there, Lord is in the form of deity. It's Archa Vigraha. It is the authorized form of the Supreme Lord. That Lord is there to receive our service, mainly to receive our service. So there is no limit for any service, anything, any extent that we can do, we can perform. So depends on, you know but that is also, don't take it as a what is called advantage, that okay, I don't have much capacity, but Krishna knows what capacity you have. You have $1 million in, you are earning, but you are just offering a biscuit. That's not ideal, right? So you're earning so much, or Krishna is giving this much, and we should also appropriately worship the Lord accordingly.
Prabhu, can I add one point here?
Yes,
If
yes,
I may
please go ahead. That's a purpose of
DT,
this one.
DT worship is one is home DT worship, and DT worship at home can also be done with a photo. It could
Yeah,
be done with the DT themselves, whatever, stone, brass, whatever is the material.
yeah.
It could be pran pratishtha, or it could be just the welcome. Depends on the level of our sincerity and purity. But deity worship also, very important aspect, is related to the temple. Like the temple is the center, and all of us are like petals to Radha Sham Sundarji. Each one of our houses like a petal, and Radha Sham Sundarji are the center. So when we go to the temple, when we listen, the deities are so happy when we are seeing them. They also are seeing us. We've come to meet them. And also the seva that we do in the temple, and it's not necessarily just on the altar or making bhoga for them or making decoration or something. Small little things. Mataji is making flowers, someone is cooking in the kitchen, someone is cleaning. All this is deity service. And when we engage in the temple service, when we do book distribution, that is also pleasing Radha Sham Sundarji, Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Mai, and Gaur Nithai Ji, Prabhupada. The temple is the center. That should be our focus, and how much we can do to the best of our ability. So our visit to the temple should be more in terms of serving the deities, and by deities the extension, because there's no difference between Krishna and his tham and his paraphernalia. Krishna's flute is no different than Krishna's peacock feather is no different than Krishna. That's him being absolute. So this is another point I wanted to make of
Yeah,
serve a center, and then
wonderful.
automatically our life gets, even the service in the house improves and our life improves. The
Wonderful.
sadhana.
Yeah, very, very true. Very true. Sometimes we feel that, okay, I need to go to temple. What would I do with, my home deities? So I have to go to temple and, do some service. So the temple service, Krishna is in the temple or Krishna is at the home, it's same. No difference. So the service which we perform at the temple is same as that service which we are doing at the deity at our home. Sometimes we go and cook for the Lord. It's offering the same. And sometimes we, someday evening and all, sometimes, we close the altar and we go to the temple and do the same. So Krishna is pleased. So ultimately, all the purpose, the bottom point of all this, that our love for the Lord, either way, either at the temple, at the home, the deity is mainly meant for that, to develop a personal relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that's always you should keep that in our heart. So Krishna is understandable. Krishna is very merciful. He is known as Dina Bandhu. He is there for, the distress, one who is in the distress. He is Dina Bandhu. He is Daya Sindhu. He is an ocean of mercy. Sometimes, people say that, they are afraid of the Lord. There is nothing to afraid of the Lord. Lord is not there to punish us. Lord is there to love us. Lord is there to receive our love. Lord is not there to punish us. There is always a misunderstanding is that. But the offenses which we are, willingly making is an offense. But that Krishna won't punish even. But Krishna takes, when they consider us an offense, when devotee, offenses again is other devotee, or, person make an offense. But any offenses, Krishna never mind. Krishna said that. I don't mind, but any offenses against my devotee is the greatest severe, the offense. So that doesn't mean that, it's a license for offending, and anything. No, it's not that. But the total understanding is that Krishna is very loving. He's very merciful. He's always there. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, if one person take one step, I would take 100 steps towards that person. This is Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. If one person take one step, Krishna take 100 steps towards that. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Krishna is personally talking to each the Gopakumar that every lifetime, each soul, I'm looking at every lifetime and each soul, that when this soul is going to turn towards me, and when this soul goes away from me, I was so disappointed and so distressed. This is Krishna. So we should always, remember this. Any step, that anything that which we takes towards Krishna, Krishna is most pleased. Krishna is so pleased, and Krishna is so much. And there is nothing to fear or worry about. And whatever the capacity we worship Krishna with our full heart, sincere heart. Krishna is ready to receive that. Even a small flower, on all that we make a flower, just a garland, nothing else. But Krishna received that. A squirrel, when Ramachandra Bhagavan was trying to make the bridge, everybody, big people, they come and they were putting huge stones and everything. There one squirrel was there. The squirrel was doing that, all going and singing, getting into the wet and the water, come down on the sand and rolling around, so his body gets some kinds of sands, and he goes to the bridge and just shaking it off and putting it there. And Hanumanji actually saw this and just started to tease the squirrel that, what are you doing? Go away from me. We are doing this. We are building this bridge. But Ramachandra Bhagavan just called this squirrel and took the squirrel in his hand and just, ran his fingers over the squirrel and told to, Hanumanji that even this little squirrel is doing this service with his own capacity. And the same, you are so big and so powerful, and you are doing the service to the, bringing lot of, the stones, big stones. Both are equal to me. Both are equal to me. And this is a universal, this how Krishna is pleased. Whatever the capacity, the squirrel, whatever, we are not all big devotees. We are all small squirrels. Whatever the capacity that we do, but ultimately that what we, with love that we offer a flower, a fruit, or a water, this Krishna very clearly explained. I would accept it. So it's not that we should not make too much of from here and there and here and there. All we need to do is actually, with our loving heart, with our sincere devotion, we worship Krishna, so that we develop that love for the Lord. And that's what is all is needed, and that's what is the basic reason for the deity worship. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else wanted to add? Murudanda Prabhu,
No, Prabhu.
did you say something?
Thanks. That was very nice. Thank you, Dattatreya Prabhu.
Yeah,
Mata,
it was wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Nitya Leela Mataji, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So with that, then let's conclude. And if there is nothing else, and tomorrow's fast breaking time is 6 a.m. towards the 10:36. There are, starting 6 a.m. to 10:36. So this is the fast breaking time. And then May 3rd is Akshaya Tritiya. It's a very auspicious day. And also May 15th, Sunday is Narasimha Chaturdashi. and we will have wonderful yagya and drama and all in the temple as well. So
Fasting till sunset, no, Prabhu?
fasting till sunset, exactly, yes. The reason for that fasting till sunset, because of Lord Narasimhadev appeared in the evening. Usually on the Tithi, on the Madhava Tithi, on the appearance day, and we fast till sunset because of Lord appears, and then that's the time. Like birthday, we never celebrate before the appearance, or anybody's birthday, we should not celebrate before their actual day, right? So in that same time, or before the actual time. So Lord appears on the evening, and then that's the time that we should celebrate, or we should honor that. We should celebrate that. So till that time we should not do anything else on that day. So that means we should fast until the sunset, and then we should break the fast. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So
Hare
the
Krishna.
so the fasting means, is it like without the water, or
That's ideally like the we should not take anything, even don't even drink water. Full
okay?
fasting. Full fasting. Ekadashi is a little different, but this is the full fasting until Lord Ram maybe till noon, and Narasimhadev till evening, Janmashtami till midnight. This is the fasting, full fasting. Yes.
Prabhu, with
We got
medical
it.
condition, then it's Ekadashi Prasad, correct? Like
Yeah.
fruits.
Medical condition is exception, and that's also Srila Prabhupada mentioned that those who are not able to, they have to take medicine. There is no reason for that. They can take medicine, but Sunday continue the fasting. That means the consciousness is the most important aspect of it. Fasting helps for that, because of the reason for the fasting is for that we minimize the bodily requirements. That means we are conscious of food, and then when we eat the food, then we are tired and we have to take rest, and then we completely gone out of that. These are very special days and very, very auspicious days because of Tithi, everything, constellation, everything changes. And if you are more focused and conscious of Krishna on that day, it purifies us a lot than any other day. And then this gives that lots of insight, lots of purity in our consciousness. And this way we can understand more, we can become more closer to the Lord, and we become more realized in that perspective. So that's ideal. That's the purpose of all, right? We get more purity and clarity in our mind and consciousness. That's we call upasana. Upasana means upa means closer. Upanishad Upasana means we are getting closer to, in that day, we are more sitting more closer with the Lord. So in this case that, devotees, they have medical condition, they can take the medicine, but at the same time chant the holy name, read the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chant extra rounds, and more conscious of Krishna, more conscious of the spiritual science, so that they get more, be with Krishna. That's all. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that those who are devotees going for book distribution services, they can take their, daily, because they don't need to be so tired and sit somewhere and don't do any service. Those who are, anybody is assigned for service on that day, that is itself is a fasting. That means they are serving the Lord. These are all the it's not a hard and fast, but this we should use that our proper intelligence, how we can deal with all these things. Yeah. Okay.
Prabhu, one question is that what about the saliva? Saliva you can take, right?
Saliva, what the okay, yeah, that is, but not anything externally. That's a part of the body, saliva.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Got it, Prabhu. Very good.
In Islam, they
Nothing.
don't take saliva while fasting for Ramzan.
Sorry.
In Islam, when they do the fasting,
Yeah.
they don't even swallow the saliva.
Yeah.
So they, from sunrise to sunset, no water, nirjal,
Yeah.
but no saliva also.
What I heard about their fasting, there is when even if we fast like more than 13 hours without anything, and body itself generate a kind of hormone which can heal pretty much almost all the diseases in our body because of it creates a hormone. Even I think last year, one person from Japan had a study on this, on the fasting. Especially he got a Nobel Prize, and he was, kind of published some kinds of journals that the importance of fasting is, and the scientific reason behind that. Even any fasting, even so, that's why they don't even swallow. I mean, they're this one and even don't swallow because of they must have experienced some kind of the ailment or some kinds of healing that for all those, and that's very, very potent, very powerful. Yeah.
And today class is very good, Prabhu. Dattatreya Prabhu, very, very nice class, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandava. Ashish Prabhu.
Okay, so let's conclude. Thank you so much. Today's, it's wonderful discussions, wonderful questions. So let's conclude. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Kandira Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Right.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda
Jai.
Gaur Krishna Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you. Thank you, Dattatreya Prabhu. That's
Hare
wonderful.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Hari
you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.